What's up? So we have TWOSUN. It's in this box. We're going to get it out of here so we can check it in and then we can check it out. Yeah, okay. So this is one that just screams "Don't buy me" in my heart when I see it. But it meant all the more that I had to get it in my collection. It's just odd duck enough that and here's what I'm finding out. Like, I've had opinions about a lot of these knives. Like, I look at them and I go, yeah, that's not me. And then now that I'm in such a collector's mode and I'm going, yeah, I don't think it's my style, but I got to put it in my collection. Here's what's happening. I'm buying these weird to me, offline knives, and then I'm being pleasantly surprised because they're actually pretty nice knives in the end. So I'm learning something, man. There's something being learned here. Let's get rid of this. I mean, this one is definitely different. And I know when I was following this one around eBay, I was like, I don't think I'm going to buy that one. Even though it's for my collection, I don't think I'm going to get one. Like, the designer, which it's Wong. I don't know if you can see him down there. But he just, like, he got on his CAD software or a pen and a piece of paper. And I don't, like, he just let it fly or whatever, because the more I looked at it, the more I thought, yeah, I can't buy that. But then something struck me, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna put it in my collection. Even if I don't carry it. And here's what happened: is I bought a couple of weird to me knives, and then I got them in my hand. I got them on site. I put them on this table. I'm touching them. I'm running the action. And in the end, I went, honestly, this is a really well designed and executed knife. It looks funky, but what do I care what it looks like if it functions well? So with that said, one of the things that got me to purchase this was this subdued back flipper. It's in line with the backspacer. It's kind of hidden, but they chamfered this so that this could be functional. And I don't know that it is, but I'm about to find out. But that in and of itself made me overlook the rest futuristic Judge Dredd looking thing that's going on here and go, you know what? I'm going to try it. Let's run it. Oh, the jimping on here is really grippy. It's just snatching my skin, so I like that. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's out there, brother. Wow. Lots of angles. Look at these angles that are going on here. This angle, here's another angle. The blade. There's a lot of angles going on here, and on the surface of it, it looks weird, but something tells me that the more I investigate this one, I'm going to like this knife. Yeah, so right there. I mean, good grief, man. So y'all just saw me. I flicked it for the very first time. That back flipper, very nice, right? Like it functions as well as it should. That's good to go. What about this? Stiff, but yeah, wonderful. What about the Spidey flick on that other side? Whew, that detent's too tough. I can't get that. Barely can get this thumb. Have to throw it out to get it to go. So when I'm making a movement, I'm not throwing wrist. I'm throwing my thumb away from the knife to get it to go. Oof. Yeah, I'm grabbing that lock bar. Maybe I'm locking myself out. Maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, that's what was happening. I was locking myself out. It runs a lot better if you don't grab the lock bar. Goof. All right, so I'm going to go back to what I avoided there for a minute. And what I avoided was creeping my hand up into position here. I mean, money, bro. this this is wonderful. Just see, it's it's function over form, because looking at it you kind of go, yeah, that's a hot mess. At least I do. I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know. There's not much there. Like, only a mother can love this knife. But I knew it, man. You put this in hand, and I'm gonna say that thoughts of the perfect knife grip comes to mind for me. Perfection. I know. Did I just say the P word? I did. It is light and nimble, and your hand goes right where it's supposed to go here. The pocket clip is hidden and buried in there. The different levels of texture here. You've got the G-10, then there's a level of titanium. The lock bar is another level below this level. Like, these levels, you can feel them in there, but it's creating. I mean, I'm kind of at a loss for words, because the word that I'm thinking of starts with P, and that stands for pool, and that rhymes for fool. I don't know, man. Golly, this is so nice. So nice. But I'm covered in oil. It's coming out of all these orifices. Let's get in here. Let's take it apart. I'll come back to my assessment. Maybe I'll come to my senses and stop using the P word. There's no Loctite on there, but there was some good tension on that screw. There's some good tension on this one. And that tension thing, I mention it. It's important, because a lot of times you'll take a knife apart and there's no tension on any of these screws. So you have to Loctite them, because there's nothing, there's no back pressure. So they just come loose. That pocket clip screw is part of holding all that together. And why that's oiled, I don't know. But so it's one screw into the G10, but the shape of it, it's like a rectangle. It's enough of a shape that I think it's a pretty confident hold for that pocket clip. But I'm not a big fan of one screw putting it into G10 or or micarta. This G10 should come out of there. Yeah, there it goes. Oily, oily, oily. Nice machine work. Skeletonization. Skeletonization. I don't know. Why does that word just bunch me up so much? I had a friend when I was young that couldn't say aluminum. He would say aluminum. Aluminum. I say, no, aluminum. Aluminum. He just couldn't say it. And for some reason, I can't say skeletonization. But there, I just said it. Yeah, so great milling here. They did a great job of milling all that out. Look at this blade. Wow. I didn't even say what it was, so let's go back. Let's back up. This is a TS258 with D2 steel, and it's a Wong design. This is one of several knives recently that wowed me so much that it's breaking my stride. Like, what's coming out of the TWOSUN factory right now, for me, and I can only speak for me, I can't speak for you. It's impressive. It's innovative. It's the materials, the execution. There's some picky things that I don't like. Like, it's amazing. I'll get an amazing knife like this, and I'm not predicting it on this knife, but I'll get an amazing knife like this, and then if you put it in your pocket and you put your hand in there wrong, you'll slice the crap out of yourself because it's got blade exposure. I mean, so I'm not saying that TWOSUN has reached the pinnacle of design and production and execution, but man, there's some stuff coming out of Yingjiang, China right now. What is it? Yangjiang, China. Yangjiang, China. There's some stuff coming out of there right now that it's leaving me speechless. It's knocking me off track. Like, totally unexpected. And now, like I said, I was kind of thinking that with this knife. Because I've had that happen on a few that, you know, and even when I reviewed them, like, I've gotten some feedback saying, what, you lost your mind? You called that art or whatever? Hey, man, I'm calling it the way I see it. I'm not saying, you know, like if you walk up on a Rembrandt and, you know, and go, yeah, it's a rag with some colored oils on it, I'm not going to argue with you. You know, you're going to see it the way you see it. But tit for tat, man, because the way I'm seeing, like this knife, there is some solid manufacturing and tooling going on here. It's just, these pieces are made, I'm not going to say perfect, but if they're flawless, what does that make them? And the way that G-10 fits to this titanium scale, I mean, maybe I'm not looking hard enough, but I'm not finding any flaw in that fit and finish work. The tolerances are super tight. And in some of this stuff, I did a knife a while back that had these G-10 inserts like that. And the fit was so tight, I could barely get them out. I mean, at one point, I thought they were glued in, but they weren't. They were just milled to such an exacting spec that, I mean, I literally had to kind of pry them off the knife. These ain't no different. They just happen to have a point on them that I could get a hold underneath and was able to get them up. But the fit and finish on some of this stuff, I mean, I know it sounds like I'm pimping the manufacturer here, but I mean, hey, you take it how you want. What I will tell you is that so far with this knife, I'm kind of in awe. Me personally, maybe I'm a simpleton. I mean, we already know that I'm stupid or, you know, whatever. So maybe that's it. I'm just a simpleton and, you know, I'm amazed by simple things. But, I mean, you can look with me. There's no screws holding this together. I just laid it on there. And the fit and finish of that G-10 to that titanium, you couldn't do it any better. It just couldn't be done any better than how they did it. So, I don't know why I sound exasperated, because I feel like I'm trying to convince some people or something maybe, and so I'm kind of over that. Hey man, you either dig it or you don't. I dig it. I am super impressed by what's coming out of that factory right now with the design and the fit and finish. And this, so far, this is an example of that. And I feel like I'm missing one of those spacers right there. I'm positive that I am. Let me pause and find it. All right, it only took me a second. I found the other one, but now I got to figure out which one's long and which one's short. because that I did not make note of. So where's the knife fatter? Oh, okay. So that one, it's the back one because it goes up into the pocket clip. All right. Got all my ducks in a row now. I can keep going. Look at this. Look at this nice little backspacer piece of milled titanium. And guaranteed this little swoop here is to protect the tip of that blade. It was just designed into it. Which, it's easy enough to say, well, it should be that way and take it for granted. But, I mean, hey, y'all, it's just another one that has me, it gripped me by the boo-boo, man. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. And I mean, I did a video recently on a much more expensive knife. I mean, I think I could have bought 5 of these knives, 6 of these knives. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, 6 or 7 of these knives for the price of that one knife. And that knife wasn't built any better than this knife. It was not. And it didn't have any necessarily better materials either. Okay, it's that big thumb studs holding it up. I was like, why is that sticking up? Yeah, I mean, I made a comment, or no, hey, one of y'all made a comment on a video a ways back and said, I wonder how that compares to one of your Wii knives. And then, another one of you said, I've never heard anybody compare a TWOSUN to a Wii knife. And I mean, fair enough. Because Wii's like the top of the food chain as far as Chinese knives go. Or knives coming out of China, I guess. I mean, so I've been told. What do I know? I mean, I'm not going to say that's the truth. I'm not going to tell you that's the way it is. I'm going to tell you that's the way I've heard it is. How about that? Because what do I know? I don't know that that's true. But I'll be honest. Seeing some of these knives lately and the design and the execution, the milling, the tolerances, the fit and finish, seems like a fairly reasonable question to me. Like I said, I did a review not too long ago on a knife where what that knife cost, I could have bought 5 or 6 of these. And you know what? Why am I not? So I did a review on a Wii knife not too long ago. And I'm not sure that I see the difference. And whatever the difference is between the two knives. Now, do they have some knives that, I don't know, would make this one, and the engineering, the tolerances, the fit and finish that you would put up against this one? Is there a Wii knife that you would stack up in here and say, oh, look how much better this Wii knife is? Is there such a knife? I don't know. Because, man, I'm looking at all of these fitment points, and I mean, somebody would have to show me. Somebody would have to say, okay, right here. See that right there? Like, you can't fit a piece of paper in there, but on a Wii it's less. I mean, so, hey, I'm going to get off my soapbox, man, but I'm just telling you that the stuff that's coming out of Yangjiang, China right now is impressing me. And this is one that getting it out of the box and put my hand on it and running it, I'm just pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised. I wonder if I've got that just a hair too tight, because it's pretty tight. Let's try that. Made a little different ting that time. Yeah, it's dropping better. So much better that I better check it. Yeah, there's no play. I just had it a little too tight. Okay, tools up. One more wipe down. Got all that oil from under them scales. Every time I grabbed it, oil was just gushing out of here. So I had to break it down and get rid of all that. So, yeah, hey, I know, man. You're looking at this going, yeah, it's just too futuristic, like Judge Dredd or something going on here. You know, it's like some postmodern interpretation of what a knife should be or whatever. But I can tell you that the action is stellar. The action, this thing runs. And it runs really well. Now, I don't know if I can Spidey flick it yet. Yeah, so there it goes. Wow. I don't know if I'm holding that down. Is it me, or it might be some way that I'm gripping that back there that's keeping me from getting that. There, I got it. But the thumb's running fine. The front flipper's running good. And this is one of the things that attracted me to it. The more I looked at it closed, because when I looked at it open, I was looking at this and I was going, yeah, I don't think that's for me. That's just not, I mean, it's too futuristic. There's too many angles going on. I'm old school, you know, it just doesn't fit me. But then I started looking at it, because there's a lot of them for sale. eBay's full of these. D-Win, he keeps running these. Well, then I saw this and I thought, you know, I'm a fan of this hidden little back flipper. I like that. And so I saw it and I said, you know what? I'm going to take a run at these. And if I get one at the right price, I'm going to buy one. If nothing else, I'll stick it in my collection. I mean, I'm up around 200 of these now. 200 different knives. Now, I have a couple where I have several of the same knife because they're priced so good. They make great gifts. Christmas gifts, birthday gifts. I mean, I meet somebody, I'm talking to them about knives, and I go, hey, here, you keep that. I mean, if I'm going somewhere, I'm going to meet somebody, I'll put one of those in my pocket. And just in case the opportunity's right, and I can go, you know what, man? What do you think of that? And they go, wow, I really like that. And I go, you know what? You keep that. So there's something about being generous that I dig, right? Like, we're supposed to be, I think. There's nothing wrong with making people feel good, right? So anyways, I thought if nothing else, I'll put it in my collection, man. I got a bunch of these. Let's add it. Well, I really like this flipper tab back here. It's got great jimping, and that thing comes out of there with authority, no doubt about it. So, man, I know that was a lot of rant, but I keep opening these boxes and I keep finding these amazing pieces of engineering and artwork, form and function. Like this thing's got form. Who can say that doesn't have form? Now, it may not be your particular form, but it's definitely got form. And the function of it is where we're going now. This grip, I mean, I used the word before. In a strong grip like this, I don't know that I have a knife that feels better than that. I'm just saying, for me. that's what really threw me, because I had it open. I mean, man, roll back the video because I had it open and I was hesitating because looking at it, I just knew this shape that's gonna be good, right? And then this back part, I just thought, I'm gonna grab this knife and it's gonna knock me off and it did. It did, man. It absolutely did. The grip on this is wonderful. I dig it. I love it. Great job, Wong. I mean, the only thing I can think is that this thing went a few rounds and you grabbed it and held it. I don't know if maybe you hit it first time out of the box, but the ergonomics on this thing is wonderful. Absolutely astounding. Let's check that pocket clip. Yeah, it's left me a little melancholy now. Like, it had me, man. It hit me good. All right, here we go. Thick material. Got to get it under there. But once it's under there, it runs pretty good. But like a lot of these clips, it's thin in the back. So it's not going to take this thick stuff very well. It's not a very deep carry pocket clip either. By design, that titanium mill, it's just not going to let you very deep. But in these thick pants, it's running up even shorter. So let's try standard jean size material. Yeah, I mean, it runs perfectly in standard size material. No question that's one-handed, in, out, easy. But as you can see, all the way in, there's still a fair piece of that revealed. Where I carry it in the back pocket, in this far corner, it's perfect. Yep. Sits in there really nice. In and out good. So the pocket clip's good. Let's check it for safety. Hopefully that wasn't an afterthought. Yeah, there's no contact with the blade here. And like I was talking about earlier, this little swoop down here on that backspacer, that tip is tucked right up in there. So there's no contact there. So I'm going to call the pocket clip good. The blade safety's good. There's no exposed blade. You can feel confident putting this in your pocket and not cutting yourself, reaching in there. The action is solid. I love this subdued flipper. And the ergonomics of this, man, that's the way a knife's supposed to feel, in my opinion. It's wonderful. I wonder if it cuts. I mean, out of the box. SHARP. Yep. Very, very, very sharp. All right. Price and availability. So I bought it at an eBay auction from DWin. $99. I paid like right at $45 for this knife. I've seen them go for more. I think I've seen a few go for less, like at 1:30 in the morning or whatever, if you hang out and you want to attack it. But under $50 for this knife, in my book, makes it a budget knife. And with that D2 steel, that satin stonewash finish, whatever that is on there, it's really nice. I like the gray. It matches the stonewash finish of the titanium, so it blends all that color together. So again, that form part of this is really nice. Yeah, I'm digging it. So there's currently auctions running. If you're looking for one, I'd say start there. I'm trying to think. These were available on White Mountain Knives for around, I think, $80. But I believe they're sold out. So, to be honest, I think the place to look for these is eBay anyways. Because, hey, if you want one, if you'll put a little work in, I think you can get one for substantially less than that. I did. And I don't really have any magic tricks. I just get on there and play the game. So, anyways, the TS 258 in D2 steel. And so you watched me be a dramatic fool. I appreciate you watching.